All right, we had several states' rights questions as well, and so let me offer us a states' rights question. And this one can be a little broadly interpreted. What federal program would you abolish because you believe the programming to be a state issue and not within the charge of the federal government? So what is a states' rights issue that's currently being handled by the federal government?
How much do we have extra time on this one?
Just the most important one, Mr. Bates.
Department of Education.
Yeah.
Education is a state issue. No Child Left Behind was bad legislation. It just increased a bureaucracy that's out of control and doesn't work. If we would give local schools more authority, local government more power, to partner with nonprofit organizations. I've been part of the mentor program in Richmond, Indiana, mentoring a 14-year-old young man who didn't know who his father went for 1 hour a week sitting with that young man, and hopefully I made a difference in his life. We need to give local communities more authority to make the education decisions in their communities. So that's where I would begin. That's a states' rights issue, not a federal issue.
Mr. Bates.
I'm the guy that said cut them all. You know, I believe they're all states' rights issues. That's how our Constitution was designed. That we the people take care of we the people. All right? You know, of course, the education is a big issue. I'd like to see that. I believe that we can teach our own damn well, kids. Thank you very much. You know? And I would like energy. I believe Hoosiers should be able to create energy. That if Hoosiers wish to have a clean coal plant up on the lake, we'll have a clean coal plant up on the lake. If we want a nuclear plant down the river, we'll have a nuclear plant down the river. You know, if we can figure out a way that when I take my kids to the fair, they get all hopped up on Mountain Dew and cotton candy and they're all over the place, if we can do that, we should be able to do that and manufacture that for ourselves. I believe that Hoosiers can take care of Hoosiers.
Mr. Silverstein.
I agree with the Department of Education, and the reason I do is because I think teaching our children is the most important responsibility of us as parents.
Right.
We as parents are responsible for teaching our kids, not the state nor the federal government. I think that, as the Constitution states, that the federal government has very limited responsibilities. It was very frustrating in the state Senate when we were dealing with an immigration bill in committee and the federal government was dealing with a health care bill. Now, don't we just have things backwards? If the states want to deal with health care, they can, and the federal government should be dealing with immigration. So we have things upside down right now, and I think that the Department of Education, though, is the best answer because it's so important for us. We understand the needs in our communities. We understand the needs of our culture and the workforce that we need and what we're working towards. And so I believe that the states have that responsibility down to the local levels. The school board, folks, I'm telling you, is one of the most important elected positions that you could run for because it has such an important part and affects our future.
At the risk of sounding redundant, I want to say ditto. The Department of Education is that department that we need to eliminate and allow these programs to stay local, which is why I voted against George W. Bush and Ted Kennedy's No Child Left Behind Act. And will, in the future, vote against such legislation that expands the federal government's authority over education. However, there is also an issue with regard to the federal judiciary. We must rein in the federal judiciary and its impact on our local schools with regard to the value systems that we seek to instill in our children. The United States Supreme Court in 1962 in Eagle v. Vitale, 1963 Abington v. Shemp, came in and told the United States people, the American people, that you could not allow the inculcation of the values in our children in public schools that we seek to reinforce in the home. So we need a double front, one with regard to agencies and the other the federal judiciary and limiting its authority.
Mr. Coates.
Well, I have to say education also because clearly that historically has been the province of the state, not the federal government. But my goodness, they are so, the list is endless in terms of what should be returned, not just to the states, not just to local communities, but to the people. I've been a Big Brother in the Big Brother Big Sister program for 35 years, totally volunteer agency. I was president of that organization nationally for a time. I've been involved in a lot of community and faith-based initiatives that have nothing to do with the federal government or the state government or local government. It's people simply saying there's a need here and a want here, and I'm going to step forward and do it. And God bless those people, those churches and people of faith that have stepped out and done it and provided far more than anything government can ever provide. They are touching the soul and the spirit, not the body and the mind. Government can provide a house, government can provide some food, but they can't touch the soul and the spirit of the individual, and that's what brings about transformation in all these social dysfunctions, and we need that in our communities. And so let's think beyond just transferring to the states. Let's think what we can do as people.
Mr. Beatty and Mr. Coates, I believe that you two have additional time. Would you like to make further comments about this question?
Is this the last question?
This is the last question, yes.
Well, I still saved my minute, so I guess yes.
Mr. Beatty, you get to go first, Mr. Beatty. You're good, okay. Mr. Coates?
Well, let me just say that what we're witnessing here today, we've had some humor, we've had some serious questions. Our nation is at crisis. It's good that we can still generate some humor because there's a lot of sadness out there, and a lot of unemployment, and a lot of things wrong. But this is democracy in action here today. I was advised by some people, don't go up there in front of the Tea Party people. They're too radical. Well, first of all, we need to be radical. But secondly, I said, these people are Hoosiers. I know Hoosiers. They know me. I'm going to go up there, stand in front of them. They can throw whatever they want. But I believe the five of us on this stage basically have the same conservative values. And I think this is a pretty extraordinary place and way to demonstrate who we are and let you make the decision as to who ought to represent you.
On behalf of the people in the crowd that provided questions, and on behalf of the Tea Party that provided questions, to each and every one of you, thank you very much for taking your time today to spend with us to let us know a little more about who you are.